Hello, and thank you for joining me today. Today we're going to be talking about transcribing. What is transcribing? Well, from the Cambridge Dictionary, transcribing is the change of a piece of writing or music into another form. So, what does that mean exactly? Well, that means that you could take some old text, let's say written in a bygone language, and you will basically translate it into a more common language, such as English. However, transcribing can be from a different language as well. So if you go on and see websites that are in German, it will have a translate button. That is a form of We still see transcribing used very commonly throughout our life. You see them at museums, parks, and many other places. Because these pieces of our history should never be lost nor forgotten. Now, I spent some of my own time, about 15 hours, um, in the Hagerstown archives, or also commonly known as the Miller House. And I was transcribing letters from a George Nevin Oswald, who was a sergeant during the First World War. Now, it is important to know that without these letters, we would only see the statistics, how many men there were in this one spot, or how many died here. We'd only get to see that. We wouldn't get to actually see the people that were on the ground. But since we were transcribing these letters, we now got a new view of the war. See how it impacted these men, their travels, and how the war impacted them after the war. George Oswald was actually stuck in France over 6 months in France. The war ended on November 11th, and he got out 6 months later. Very, very important to also note that their views and writing have also changed. This is one of the big things that I've noticed. The way that they spelt words have massively changed in less than, or just about, 100 years. Additionally, he was writing in English. However, he was writing cursive, and only about a quarter of America can actually read anymore. It was taken through a census, and that census showed that only a quarter could confidently and read cursive. This is hard to see because human history, especially human cursive. So it's very, very hard because less than 100 years ago, most of America was writing cursive. Now it's only a quarter, and everyone else writes in print. So cursive is slowly and steadily becoming a dead form of writing compared to that print, which has, in a short period of time, taken over the writing format. And this is slightly due to the school system, since the schools are enforcing kids to write in print first, learn it, master it, then actually learn cursive first. So what happens after they stop learning cursive? Well, they go back to their basic form. And they go back to writing in print. And this is one of the reasons why many cursive readers and cursive writers are dwindling in the US. and it's very hard to see, or most